So, give a quick recap of Aura 3. So, I think we've done a few sessions, we've gone into detail. So, we're literally just going to skim through this. And I'm going to go through the fun stuff. So, I'm going to pick a data set. So, hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
It's early for Mike. Early start.
Well,
I know.
Nairobi,
Other Mike from Nairobi.
that is
That
probably
case.
similar time zone.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
morning,
Thanks
yes.
for joining us.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if you've got a data set you want us to have a look, let us know. So you can either pop a message in the chat or ping us on Twitter or send a pigeon and we'll figure something. You know, there's lots of ways you can.
Please don't send a pigeon.
Discord's a good one.
Yes,
Drop a
Discord
chat
is a
and
good one.
banter on Discord. Let us know. So we're going to pick a data set. So I'm going to talk through the data set we've got today. Ooh, air of mystery. And then what we're going to do is we're going to think about what questions. So if you've got questions of the revealed data set you'd like us to explore, chuck them in the chat. We're nice. We like this sort of user participation thing. So chuck them in.
Absolutely.
Then off the back of that, we're going to figure out what a data model is going to be based on those questions. Because as you know, the questions help us form what that data model is going to look like. And then we're going to load that data, we're going to query it. So very quickly, Neo4j Aura 3 is a free version of Neo4j Aura, which is our Neo4j on the cloud database offering. So the free version, you can load up to 50,000 nodes and 175,000 relationships, which is more than plenty to do a bunch of stuff within there. And you've got access to Neo4j Bloom, which is our visualization tool, and Browser, which is like a developer aid that helps us, you know, sort of write queries, load some data, query the data, that kind of thing. And it is free forever. So if you do not already have a copy of that, you can go to the landing page. So that's dev.neo4j.com/Aura and get yourself a free account. So what we're going to do today, we are going to be looking at, we can have a look at the sample of the data, thinking, what is this? We're going to be exploring REST areas in New York State from the US government open data site. So
okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So this is a list of service stations, I believe, based in New York State.
So like petrol stations or is this like
I think so, something like that. I couldn't quite, so we can do a bit more digging around this. I had a quick look this morning and I thought, oh, this looks like fun. And you'll see why we might have some fun with this. It'll all be clear shortly.
That should be a fun exercise today. I'm looking forward to this, and I think just to complete the picture here with Aura 3, I think it's a great bundle we are offering here. So like you said, 50k nodes and 175,000 relationships is plenty for any test run, and Bloom for free basically included. It's super good. Do test it out, give it a go, check out the link, and load your data. But what you also can do, and that's I think the goal of this series here, is we try to give you an example of what you can try. So we will be able to follow along, or you will be able to follow afterwards. We share what we do today in a GitHub repository, and then you can copy and paste our code examples, or rather loose, and try it for yourself.
Absolutely. So let's have a quick peek at this data set.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So basically, this website's really good. So if I ping back here, so you got this data.gov. So we've got a podcast coming soon that Will and I've put together about where can you find data sets, because sometimes you just can't think of a data set. You can't think of an example of creating some data, and you just want to go, you know what, I want to play with the graph, but I can't think of any data sets. And there's lots of different places you can find them. And here's a really good place to find some data. So here, this is a US government website. And actually, if I just do /dataset, and here they've got loads. They've got loads and loads of different data sets. I'll find the exact link for that later. They've got loads and loads of different data sets. And I was just having a quick peek through. And I had this one here, which is the REST areas across New York State. So here they've got in the catalog. This is the full address. So here they've got all sorts of data sets in here. So you can see they've got all sorts of things. So you got 300,000 different data sets, and you can download them as as CSVs, as RDF. So we're going to show you, because the deal here about the Discover Aura Free is that we don't do anything where we have to do an extra step with the data. So we don't have to download it and then upload it somewhere else. So everything we do, we can pull from a link, and this website is excellent for that. So you can pull it as a JSON, you can pull it as CSV. Some of these places have also got APIs that you can connect into. So here you got loads and loads of different data sets, and I discovered this REST areas across New York State. And I'll show you why it's interesting, because we get to play with some spatial data, which is why I was a bit excited by this. So you can see here we've got these different ways of doing this, and the original source of this is from the New York State data website. So if you want more information, you can click through and have a look at that information there. And they've given us some information about the different values we've got here. So if we can have a quick look at the columns, they've so beautifully laid it out for us. So let me just ping this link over to the chat as well. Although you can pull it off the original link that Alex has just popped in the chat. But here it tells us the name of the REST area. It gives us a description. Got vending machines, as you've got picnic tables, all of that good stuff. So, and the other stuff as well, we've got the longitude and latitude information about there. Mm-hmm. So that's that data set. So the link we want to be able to explore this data, you can get by right-clicking on the download button. And then you want to do the copy link address. And that's the magical link that we need to be able to access that CSV from Neo4j Aura Free. So I've copied that link into the clipboard. And now if I jump over to my Aura Free instance, what I can do is load CSV with headers from, and now I'm just going to paste my link in. So that's the link that I've just copied from that page as row, and I can just return this now, return row. And this is quite a small data set. So normally we've been working with some, big data sets. Well, not big, but as in, we've had to truncate somewhere. We've had to make decisions about reducing what we load so that we fit under the 50,000 node limit. This is quite a small data set, but do not be deceived that it is a small data set. We've only got 39 rows in this CSV, but we've got lots of interesting things to play with. So it doesn't have to be a huge data set to be able to do cool and interesting things. So very quickly, we can see information here. So we get stuff like the status of that REST facility. Then this obviously gives us a description. Well, it's closed. Okay, fine. We've got information like how many truck spaces there are. Is there a public telephone? Number of picnic tables. The travel direction. So obviously, if this is on a motorway, a highway somewhere, what direction are you traveling for that facilities will be available? As we talked about, you've got the longitude and latitude in there. What county is it based in? The name of the stop. Does it have a police station? Does it have bus spaces? You get the idea. Handicap spaces, car spaces, what routes available, and number of vending machines. So we've got lots of really interesting and fun information there on some of these things. So what I'm going to do as well is, let's see if we can, if I do it like this, do we get, just trying to see if there's a nice way of being able to display this. Oh, let's have a quick peek. Does it, so we had a view data. So can we view it a bit nicer? Oh, I pressed the magic button. Here we go. That'll do. Okay, so we can see some information here side by side. So I guess the question here then, what kinds of questions would you ask of this data? So Alex, what kinds of questions would you ask of this interesting data set?
Yeah, it is very interesting. So my initial thought was, do we want to combine with some kind of travel recommendation thing? So let's say we are traveling eastbound, which, do I have a park, how do you say, a parking space for my truck at an eastbound picnic area or an eastbound rest area, basically.
So parking space for my truck. So obviously, I think this is going to be dependent on the highway, on the route. So let's just quickly have.
I don't know if that is maybe too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite a small data set.
Yeah, so that's probably
not sure. But let's just quickly return row dot what did we call it? Route, row.route. As R order by R. Let's have a look. So do we have... Oh, actually, let's do direction as well quickly. So was it, what did we call it? Was it direction?
It was... no, route was what Kat said.
Let's have a look up here. So it was route, status...
Travel direction.
Travel direction. Okay.
Yeah.
Travel space direction. Okie dokie. Let's just do that. So okay. So southbound, northbound. So it looks like it. Oh, I know. It's the I-81. Obviously, I think that's an interstate route. So that's got loads of things on there. Okay. In fact. Oh, okay, that's exciting. Yeah, no, I think we can kind of roughly ask a question about that based on route. So
maybe roughly, yeah.
If I'm traveling X direction,
or we could make it easier to say exactly like you just said. If you say if we travel X direction on Y road, what rest areas can I discover, or and then maybe add something more complicated by that by saying what rest areas have truck spaces.
So if I'm traveling X direction on route Y, what stops are available?
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a good question.
Okay, that might be a bit of an interesting one to try and model because we don't have the map data, but that's okay. We're going to fudge something, I think, with the spatial data. Right. Any other questions you'd like to ask? That might be quite.
I mean, I think I like question. I like the public phone thing. I mean, that could be another one. I mean, I don't know really what kind of question to be asked. I mean, the basic question is which rest areas do have a public phone, but it's not really a graphic question.
No, what we could ask, and it's not technically a graphic question, but it does give us an opportunity to play with the spatial data, which could be what rest area closest to me has a public phone.
Yeah. Not that anybody needs public phones still with smartphones abundantly available, but sometimes your battery dies and then you might need a public phone.
Exactly, or no signal, or kid threw your phone in the pond.
It happens, yes.
Phone got stolen. Many things.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah.
Okay, let's pick.
And you might want to also check if a public phone and a police station is at the same space because you want to report your stolen phone.
Exactly. So, police station. But we'll keep it simple for now. But that's quite to add the extra bits in. So, what else might we ask? Again, if you've got any thoughts for questions, chuck them in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Put them in chat if you can think of anything. Vending machines could be also interesting. I'm hungry. It's a second breakfast kind of time.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm going to pick? I want to... I think we should do something about the handicap spaces.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because I think that's a good sort of thing to be awareness of those kinds of things. So let's do something along the lines of what routes have the most available handicap spaces.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Route has the most handicap spaces available. All right, so we've got a few questions here. So I think this is going to be, we don't have as many questions as we normally do, but there's probably a fair bit of processing that needs to get done to get this working. So I think that's fair enough. So let's think about that data model. So this is going to be an interesting one to do. So, oh my goodness, how are we going to make this graphy?
Well, I think what we could do is we could start with the. Should we start with the direction or so with the, with the travel direction or with the route? If you put like, a route has always a travel direction. So we could say we put the Interstate 84, whatever it was called, as a node, then pull off eastbound, westbound as travel direction relationships off of it. So that we say.
Oh, so you mean something like this? Hang on, let's do route. And then you're saying you might have
yeah. Maybe.
Let's think about this. I think this one's going to be non-obvious. But let's have a little think about what this looks like. Oh, Mike's just asked a question. Say I want to get info that shows route on Google Maps between two rest areas using the various parameters like route and location and latitude. Yeah, so the only thing we can't do, I love that question, Mike. I don't think we'll be able to hook into Google Maps to get the API, but I'm just trying to think, what can we do to help answer that? So we're a little bit limited with the data. Let's try and get some data in, and then I'll come back to that question, see if we can do something about that.
Mm.
And compare leaving or adding travel direction parameter. Let's sit on that one for a moment and have a think about how we might answer that one. Okay, so we've got route, eastbound. I'm just trying to think. This kind of makes sense. Anything here I'm thinking about is obviously you'll have lots of rest spots in that. So let me just think. This kind of works to be able to help answer distances between the stops. So, okay, let's do that for now. So the route, this will have a name. Then rest stop, we will have.
Yeah. Does it? Should we? Yeah. Would we have all the properties in there, or would we have another?
I'm just trying to think, because obviously this is it depends question, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is.
This is the thing with there is no right and wrong. It's all an art.
Yeah. Because we do have a couple of things.
I talked about handicap spaces.
Truck spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other information, public phone. I mean, I don't know what we want to include in the end, but I mean, it should have location, like you said, longitude. Do we want to look into that? Longitude, latitude, probably.
Oh yeah, so that definitely is a property on the stop because that's related to that. Oh, county, where it's located. I think that can be a separate node.
Yeah.
So let's do that. So let's quickly, so this has got a location. This will also have a name. Based in a county.
And we could status could be a separate node.
No, like, well, I was thinking, no, I was thinking status for something else.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking it could be an extra label.
Yes, also that, yeah.
So we could have another label, which could be something like open. I was thinking something like this. Maybe we could double label it. And then, oh yeah, because we've not done double labels, so let's do that. So there may be different ways we do this, but just for fun, let's double label a node because I think it's been a while since we've done something like that. So Okay, so it's got count. Oh, keep pressing that one. We've got county. We've got direction. I think a lot of these things are probably going to be properties. Police station. Probably skip that one. Car spaces.
Does sound all like properties to me.
I love this. It's got a description. The architecture showcases Victorian style.
Interpret displays after region. Okay. Well. Flavor
I'm just going
texting.
to quickly do something. I'll have a quick look at the descriptions because I'm intrigued now. Oh, you know, it'd be really nice. So we'd probably be out of the rate because obviously we only got an hour here. But I'd love if we could just pull out this extra information. Like
I was thinking the same thing. Yes, totally. Yeah.
It's a little
and
bit.
It would be also a little bit like what Mike suggested is the where do I have to get off to get to this rest area. The Google Maps approach saying, okay, between exit 1989, this is your exit. This is where you have to.
I think we can slightly fudge. We can slightly fudge Mike's question, I think.
Okay.
And I'll show you how we can fudge that in a bit. So it's not the neatest, prettiest option, but it's a slight fudge. All right. Okay. Right. So I think we've got that. So let's just quickly stick in the other bits. So we're not going to put all the properties in. I think we'll just do the bits that we need to just answer the questions that we've got for now. So go in here. So we've got name, location. We've got
handicapped spaces.
Yeah. So truck spaces and car spaces. And I think we've
public phone.
Oh yes, public phone.
Location, is that the long lat thing?
The long lat. We're going to use a spatial variable, a spatial type for that. So cool. Yeah, nice. Right. Okay, I think those are the main things. So we're not putting all the data in. I think we've got enough here to answer the questions that we've got. And I'm going to show you fudge for Mike's question. Hopefully it's going to work. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed.
Okay, right. So I think this is roughly what our data model is going to be. So route, so rest stop. I'm going to just change the relationships around. I think they should point. Yeah, so rest stop, eastbound and route, westbound on route, route space in the county, that. Okay, cool. I think that's that. I think let's give this a go. And
I guess westbound and eastbound needs to be direction A and B probably, because we have south and north as well. We might have south.
Oh, do we have south? Do we have south and north? Let's have a quick look. So
it says here, line 3, serving southbound traffic on I-87, serving northbound traffic on Interstate.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. We can add them in, so just for completeness. Oh, actually, do we do this? I've decided actually maybe I prefer this. I'm going to be a pain in the bum. Let's do direction and have it as a property.
Yeah.
And do direction. I don't know what to call this. What's the name? Good property name.
Driving or something like that.
Direction.
Heading. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes, perfect. Yes, that's good.
Let's do that, and then like that, we can put the direction filter on here. Okay, cool. I feel a bit happier with that. It's not perfect. This is just our first iteration of the data model, so don't judge too harshly, everybody. Right. Okay. Let's get some data in. So let's go back here. Going to recycle this query, and we're going to do merge C county, and that's just county.
It was just yeah.
Oh, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I've got too many tabs. So we're going to merge county. We are going to merge the root.
That was also just root.
Yeah. Name, row.root, thanking you. And then we're going to do a create because we assume all of those stations are going to be unique. So we're going to create a rest stop, wasn't it? So did we call it rest stop? We called it, yeah, rest stop.
You call it rest stop, yeah.
Right, rest stop, and we're going to have a name, row.name, description. We are going to have a location. I'm going to look up how to do location in a second because we're going to look it up in the docs. We had description. We had phone, public phone, wasn't it?
Public phone, yeah. That is, sorry, public phone with space in between.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And we have handicapped spaces. That was also with a space in between. So handicapped. Exactly.
Like that.
And now handicapped.
The double P or one P?
With double P. Like this, yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And then we had truck.
Truck spaces, exactly. Also with space in between.
So for those of you wondering why am I using these backticks? So if you're using something from, say, low CSV and it's got spaces in the header or some weird characters, then using the backticks basically lets Cypher know that it's got some weird things going on, so it doesn't break your query. So that's why we've got the backticks in there, because otherwise space would assume, oh, we're moving on to the next thing. So that's why we've got all those backticks in there. And then we had, what was the other one? Parking spaces?
Car.
Is it car spaces?
Quickly. Car spaces, yes, exactly.
Perfect. Right, row dot car spaces. And then last but not least is location. So location. And let me just quickly look up the docs. Right, yes. So I'm going to have a think about in here. So we've got spatial. So we're just going to check to see how we need to store those. So usually there's an example in here. Aha, so we're going to use point. And we're going to say it's not Cartesian. What's the other Cartesian that we have? Ah, okay, so this is the syntax we're going to use here to store our location. So let's do back in here. So location is going to be point latitude colon, and that was row.latitude, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. And yes.
And then we've got longitude. It's going to be row.longitude. I think that's correct, isn't it? I haven't misspelled anything, have I? Let's have a quick look. Oh no, wrong button. Longitude, latitude, those two, perfect. So storing the latitude, storing the longitude. We don't need to tell it anything more because we've told it it's longitude and latitude, and I think it's all our data. So right then we're going to link it all together. So we are going to say create rest stop on route, and then we've got direction. Is it road? Oh no, it was travel direction or something, wasn't it?
It was travel direction, exactly, yes. Yep.
To a route, and we're going to create RS.
We miss a C at the beginning.
In state. Oh, in county even.
Yeah. And I was county.
County, and let's just just set that to create. And the other thing we need to do is we need to set, we may need to put with in here. It's all good. So we're going to do set, we need to do an if. With root stop, rest stop, row dot. Was it closed? Was it closed status? What did we call
it was just status.
Status.
Status open and closed.
And is it a yes, no? It just says open.
Open and closed, yeah.
Okay. Sweet. So dot status where to closed set rs. Oh, let's double check. I think it's something like this. I will double check. Actually, open. That's easy one. Open, and I'm just going to double check the syntax for setting labels. This is the one that we want. So we want to set a label on a node. Oh, it's just that one. Yeah, set. Perfect. And hopefully that's going to load all our data. I've probably missed something, so I'm expecting it to count at some point. But I like how I use like sort of my queries as a debug method. Oh, hello.
First.
Oh, nah. I knew it was too good.
Yeah.
Right, location. What have we got? So invalid dot expected colon. So what did we do? Let's just split these out so that we. Here we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. Okay. Oh, what have we missed? Latitude not defined. I got to wrap it in curly braces. That's all good. Right, so we need to do this. Yep, that completely makes sense.
Yes. Okay. You did it at the end.
Oh, okay. Almost there. Almost there. Right. So, of course, we've got to set, because it's a string, so we need to tell it that it's not a string. So let's do floats. Floats. Oh, what have we missed? This is exciting. Okay, right, let's see what's going on here. So let's have a look. So we have got name, description, they're fine. Oh. Phone, handicap spaces, truck spaces, car spaces, location. Right, so that looks okay to me. That looks okay to me. That looks okay. That looks okay. That looks okay. That looks okay. So is it in here somewhere? So it was complaining at location points. So that looks okay to me. Oh, yeah, no, this is what I did wrong. That should go here. Hey, got there in the end.
Super, cool.
Right. Okay, that's just gonna make a copy of that query. So let's bring back what we've got. So match n return star. Ooh, this is exciting.
Oh, cool.
Actually, can I zoom out a little bit, because this is quite cool. I just like this. This is just pretty. So this is so what's fascinating here, because obviously you've got some linking happening via the counties. So you can see some counties are going to have more than one interstate connecting them. So you've got this nice join here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Delaware County has got the interstate I-88 as well as the New York 17. And then obviously you got these two counties are sharing these two. Oh, that's quite fun. So another fun question we could have had now that we've loaded the data. Not to ask it, but
sometimes you need the visual. That's exactly. I mean, this is just a prime example of we looked at the table, we thought what could be interesting, then we loaded the data, and now we see the graph, and now it makes so much more sense. It's just the visual aspect is here, and then we see, oh, actually, yeah.
Because we could almost ask a question here, such as what interstates could we use to get between Allegheny and Otsego? We butchered the pronunciation of those. So obviously there's going to be lots of routes, but as a very broad brush, what rest stops would we be going to get between those two counties?
Totally. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's great fun. Okay, cool. Wow, that looks very exciting, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you can start doing things like which county's got the most rest stops. So here we can see Clinton's got 3. Well, we can ask, because obviously you're going to have joining. So these two have got 2. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. All right, I'm going to stick to the questions we actually set rather than inventing new ones. But you start to get an idea, and immediately you can say like what interstates, what counties does a certain interstate touch, and all that kind of thing. Oh, that's fun. Right. Okay, we've got data in there. So let's start asking some interesting questions of this. So let's stick to the questions we actually set. Absolutely. Oh, this is exciting. Right. Okay. So let's think about what we're going to ask here. So we are going to ask and get rid of this. So the first question we had was, if I'm traveling X direction on route Y, what stops are available? So let's pick, I should have kept that visualization up, shouldn't I? Let's bring it back up again. That might be useful for us to pick stuff. So what interstate should we pick? Let's pick this one, the I-87, because there's a bunch of stuff coming off of it. So let's say we want to know, if I'm traveling in X direction on route Y, what stops are available? So southbound, northbound, 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 southbound. Oh, pick northbound then. Let's go for that. I-87 and northbound. So let's say match route. Oh, what's going on here? Why is it not being helpful? That's fine. We use it off here, so we know we've got route. So R route. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. So with route with I-87 as route, southbound as direction. So we can edit these nice quickly.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
Southbound as direction. Match our route, and then that's going to be in here.
We could have shown this in Bloom as well.
Route. Sorry?
We could have shown this in Bloom as well with the, but
we could have done actually. Yeah. Should we do it in Bloom?
No, let's
do it in Cypher to begin with, and then we can switch over.
Exactly. No, yeah.
So, and I'm going to say direction. This one here. Actually, I'm going to be lazy. I'm not even going to bother putting in the query. direction. That's going to be... Oh, no, that's en route, wasn't it?
And yeah, I was just wanted to say.
Direction, rest stop, rest stop. Oh, and now we can use this open. We want to know about the open ones.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've double labeled it, it's just going to pull the ones with which are open. So we can return rest stop dot name and rest stop dot location. Oops. And let's have a little play with this query, because we can order them based on the lat long. Oh, I can't spell today. Right. Okay, cool. So.
Oh, nice.
So you've got 3 stops
that are open.
If you were going to go in the I-87, you've got these 3 stops now. What I want to do is to order these. So we can kind of do a little bit of a cheaty hack because we're going southbound. So that means that the X isn't really going to change and it's the Y that we're interested in. So what we can do is we can order by Y. So if we do order by rs.location.y, I'm hoping those should be in order. So it should be Glen Falls, then High Peak South, then Beekmanstown. Beekmantown? How do you pronounce that? So those would be the 3 rest stops that you would see going down. So let's just quickly test this theory out.
Yeah, order by ascending.
So if we do Glens Fall. Right, let's bring this in. So Glens Fall. And then if I... Oh, how am I going to do this? Brain start working.
Just add a stop. Just pretend.
Yeah. No, I need a start point to begin with.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Is this going to work? Oh, I've got to do this, don't I? I've got to do latitude.
I think you need to remove the X and Y, and then it's probably going to work. Yes.
Although it's the wrong way around, because it's that weird thing where it does YX when you do latitude, longitude. There we go.
That looks better. Yes.
Yeah, it flips it through.
Yeah.
So if we now do directions, we can flip them round. Now if I copy and paste this one, actually, you know what I'm going to do? Make my life easier.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to walk it though. And then if we add the last one, I should have cheated for them. I'm going to do that in the next query. I'll concatenate the comma in there. Oh,
Northbound.
That's hang on. We're going the wrong way, wrong direction. What have I got wrong here? Because it's I know. Is it called? No, that's the right way around. Okay, so we said we were going. I'm probably getting my lats and longs confused, so I probably need to order it by X, not Y. But we'll have it. But you get the idea. So you get the idea is that we've got the route. So starting there because we're supposed to be going southbound, so we should have started from here and going down. But you get the idea. We've got them in. You can see
maybe you want to change to car. I think maybe, but it doesn't matter much.
I think it really makes a difference, does it? But it'll all be the same. But you kind of get the idea of what's going on here, so it's a bit of fun.
Yep.
So so what we said was Glen Falls, High Peak South, Beekmanstown. So we've done those ones. So it is. Let's see what's gone wrong here. We're going from smallest to yeah, no, I know. No, no, I got it. So it is right. So what we need to do is it's because it's about the distance from the equator. So yes, it increments as it goes up away from the equator, and we're going southbound. So we want it to go from biggest to smallest, which would be southbound. So that's what's gone wrong there. So So if we do order by that descending,
yeah,
then that's going to be correct. So that's just basically that the whole how spatial data works. So that's So the process is right. Yeah. So there we go. So that's what we want, and that's what we're getting on the map. So happy days. Right. Okay. So we've answered the question about what the stops are working with spatial data, and what we can do as well, just for bonus points for a bit of fun, is we can say the distances between those as well. So I'm just trying to think what's the easiest way of doing distance. I think we'll have to chain it. I'm going to leave that because that's quite a complicated query, but I think keep an eye on the repo. We'll probably put some information in there about that for a bit of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we got those two. Right, so next question was with truck spaces. So let's add a little bit more. So what if you're driving a truck and you want to know about the ones that have got spaces? So what we can do here, we can do where rs.truck. I don't know what's going with the auto suggest. It's not working today. So where truck stops is greater than 0. I've just realized we've forgotten to wrap that in an integer. So I'm just going to do this quickly. To integer. Oh, well, when we write up the repo, we'll make sure that we do this one up. So it's greater than 0. So how many of these?
I don't know how. What does it take automatically? I think the value.
It'll always treat it to strings. That's what it needs to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is this not working? Integer. Did I misspell it? Oh, so there's no truck stops.
Oh no.
If you were going down the I-87 in a truck, there's no truck stops. Disaster.
That's not good.
Let's have a look at the car space. Oh no, it was spaces. Well, it's not stops, it was spaces. That's why. Hang on.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
There we go. Oh, they've all got truck spaces. And how many truck spaces are there?
Yeah.
Oh, 14, 36, and 15. Okay, there we go.
So
if you're driving a truck, you're sorted. All right, cool. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got a question. Oh, yeah. Mike was asking about the comparing and adding travel direction parameters, which we've done. We've got a query there, so that's all good. What was the other question that we had? What rest area closest to me has a public telephone? Let's do that. So we're in New York State. I want to pick a random location in here. I'm picking Utitsa for. So just got to figure out how to get the lat long for this. Let's just pick a random thing here. Pick a random hotel. Does it give me? How do I get? Actually, let me just pick a random.
I think we just lost Lju. Oh, here she's back. You're back, Lju?
Hello. I'm just trying to find the random location. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Right, I'm going to take this.
All right.
It won't let me copy it for some reason. Let's go. I'll do it like this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's going to be my location. It's a random location. So and we need to, that's going to be our X and Y. So that's going to do with point. It's going to be, wrap this in that. I'm going to say Y is that. X is that as location. Now we're going to find the ones with phone boxes. So we're going to do, and I've got to wrap all of these things. So we said in our data set, didn't we, that phone box, public phone. Okay, so it's either minus, I assume, minus, what did they tell us? What did they say about phone box? -1 is it doesn't have one. I don't think so. None of them have got, oh my goodness, our data sets, none of them's got any phone boxes. Shall we just...
Maybe let's do something else then. Shall we do the handicapped spaces?
Oh yeah, let's do handicapped spaces. Yeah, one with the closest handicapped spaces to us. Yeah, that works. So, right, we're going to do match stop. That's open. And then we're going to do a distance thing as well. So where to integer, oh nice, oh lowercase, rs dot and the cap spaces is greater than 0. Turn rs dot name. And then we're going to look at the spatial. We're going to want to do distance. So we can see here we use the distance keyword, the distance function even, to give us the distance between 2 points. So let's go back here. Return this. Did we chose distance or dist? Sorry, got memory span for goldfish. Distance.
Distance.
Distance. It's going to be rs.location. Location. As dist. Order by dist. And that should be the smallest distance to the biggest distance. So let's have a look.
Let's check it out.
Oh, what have we got wrong here? What have I done? Let's put some new lines so we can see what's going on. Oh, I forgot to put this in here. There we go. Ooh, so...
Well, distance null. That can't be right.
Yeah, no, just trying to see what's going on here. So... 2 seconds. I spelt location correctly. Ooh, it'll be something obvious. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What have we got wrong? Do I need to be not lazy? So I always get these wrong. So I think we said that it's 1x. So I think the longitude is going around that way, isn't it? So that's latitude. Maybe it's this. There we go. Right, okay, cool. So that's given us our location. So let's do, I think this is in meters.
Does it say here the result? It doesn't explain.
I think that is, it's not meters because, oh no, train station to Copenhagen to Malmo, 27 kilometers. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, that looks about right. So it's in that. So what we're saying is that the closest parking space to our place is 70 kilometers away. So let's get the lat longs back. So let's do rs dot y, I think we said it was, wasn't it? rs dot y. I'm going to concatenate this with a comma because I'm lazy. No. Oh, what's going on here? Hang on. Oh, this is me being lazy, backfiring, and it's just taking longer. No, it's not doing it what I wanted it to do either. That's fine. Oh, I know I've done dot location dot y. There we go. Right, so
Perfect.
that's.
It can go away.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
All right. Let's see if we are correct.
So let's do. So obviously this isn't as the crow flies, it's going wobbly. But yeah, that makes sense. That's about
60 miles.
Kilometers. Well, 60 miles, but it's not going in a straight line. So
no, but yeah.
60 miles is roughly 90 kilometers, but that's not going straight line. So that is about 70 kilometers as the crow flies. There we go. So our nearest, that's answered that question. That's in the roundabout way, that's answering our question, which is what's the closest rest stop from that random point we selected
that has
handicap parking.
Exactly. But that's cool.
Yeah,
that
really
did
cool.
work.
Okay, so those are the questions that we had today. So there's lots of stuff you can do with this. I know this is a very basic data set, but there's lots of fun things you can do with this. So we've had a little play with the spatial. So do go and have a look at that. And what we could have done as well is we could have imported some data as well with regards to importing stuff around OpenStreetMap data. We could have imported some very rough routes so that we could have actually maybe done some plotting of that data. But there's another really cool tool. So Estelle Schiffo, who's very active in the Neo4j community, has put together a really cool graph app called Neo Maps, and we could have put those points onto a map and visualize that. So maybe that's one we can play with next time. But just wanted to highlight this as a fun data set for us to play with spatial data. So again, play with spatial data on Neo4j Aura free. So I think we've got all those questions. So we are at time. Wow, we've got on there, but you get the idea of how you're going to get an idea of how we can play with spatial data. And I'll try and see as well if we can find some nice ways of pulling in some like high level road information so that we can start to do the route playing, as Mike's suggesting there in the chat. So rather than as the crow flies, more accurately with the routes. But yeah, I think that was a bit of a fun data set.
Totally, yeah, I think that's cool. And again, like I said earlier, when you see it visually in the graph, it opens up so much more possibilities once you see it. I think that was very, for me, that was another graph moment. So it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it's good fun. I love that. You can have so much fun here to just sort of like do the, our counties connected? So another fun question would be, are counties connected to the interstates? You can see here they're not. So we can build out a query to help answer those kinds of questions. But yeah, fun times.
That's cool. Just to finish it off, Isali has asked a question on Twitch if you have some tips on how to easy remodel a graph. I pointed obviously to Discord where we have the big community and where everybody can help you ask your questions. But maybe if you have, Lou, maybe a quick tips and tricks thing on remodeling.
Yes, so the best way of doing it, you've got two things to do. So I think the first one, as you've correctly identified, is you need to figure out what exactly you want to change. So absolutely, you're going to go back to your model. So I think there's a bit of a fallacy, this idea of, you don't need to do any data modeling, you can just chuck your data into Neo4j. So yes, you don't need to define a schema ahead of time. You don't have to do that thing. So with the relational database, you have to say what your tables are going to be, what the rows are, all that kind of thing. Yeah, you don't need to do that with Neo4j. However, you still need to think about what your data model is going to be, irrespective of what data source you're going to land it in. So first thing, absolutely, you go back and have a look at what was your original data model that you're doing that. So that's the thing. The next part is you then need to figure out what are you changing. And then based on what you are changing, so for example, let's say, I don't know, for argument's sake here, let's say we've got public phone, and let's say for argument's sake that was a true or false thing, and we decide rather than that being a property on the node, we want to create that as a node in its own right. So what that's going to mean, that means we're going to have to create a new relationship and a new node. So let's say this is going to be phone, for argument's sake, and this could be something like as phone. So we've identified that we're pulling this property out and we're going to do that. So that's the first step. So the first step is just figuring out what change are we making to our data model. And then the next stop, you've got a couple of options realistically. So option one will be, you know what, it's pretty straightforward for me to just re-import my data. So I'm just going to change what my import rules are going to be and I'll load that data in. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to go, well, actually, I don't want to do that. I've got lot of data in there. It's an absolute palaver to go away and re-import everything. I don't want to do that. I just want to change what I've already got. So you can do that. And you have got a lot of very useful tools. So have a look in, for example, in the APOC library, where it is very easy, where you do your match statement. So here you'd be doing your match statement to find this node. And then you've got tools within APOC to help you pull out the relationships very quickly, create a new node. So you then write your query and it should be really straightforward. And the thing that's going to save you a lot of hassle is just being very clear what changes are you making to your model. And then then it's pretty straightforward to then go off and then write the query to update your thing. So you've got two options. So number one, always figure out what your new data model is going to look like. And then you either A, get rid of everything and then re-import it, or B, you can use the really helpful tools that you've got in APOC, and ciphers will help you do that, very, very quickly to make those changes. So hopefully that helps answer that question.
I'm sure it does. Cool. Thank you very much, Lou.
Fantastic.
Cool. I think with that, we are at the end today. Thank you all for joining us. I think it was another interesting data set. Looking forward to doing this next time again. And if you have any questions, any feedback, any your data sets, exactly, share with us in all the channels. And then we'll see you another time.
Absolutely. Have a fabulous week, everybody, and see you next week.
See you soon. Thank you.